No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for August the 29th, 2022. Clash at the Castle is this coming Saturday on the WWE Network / Peacock. Also, we have All Out this Sunday, as well as Worlds Collide, the NXT special, a very busy weekend. NoDQ.com will keep you updated. Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. Says, today in history, 1994 SummerSlam featured Bret Hart versus Owen Hart in one of the greatest cage matches ever. Also, that miserable Undertaker imposter match. Yeah, that main event was not so hot once the bell rang, but Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, one of the best matches of that era, no doubt. Now, let's get into Raw. Shout out to everybody watching live. God Mode Z, Torvik23, John Millard, Nick Lavin, Peter, Ken Terminates DQ. I appreciate you all tuning in tonight. Colin Andrew is here as well. We had AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler going up against Judgment Day to start us off. We had some recaps shown in the picture-in-picture, which I like. I think that's a nice change of pace. Finn Balor was doing the heel stuff, teasing AJ Styles, mocking his Styles Clash mannerism. But Ziggler took advantage of that, hit the Fameasser, and then Styles got the hot tag, put on the calf crusher. However, Finn Balor was pushing the ropes over to Damian Priest, and Priest was able to get to the ropes. Hold was broken. Dolph Ziggler tagged back in. Referee got distracted. Finn Balor took advantage of the situation, and that allowed Priest to hit the South of Heaven, and he scored the victory, picked up the win over Ziggler. And then afterwards, we saw Edge arriving to the building. After the commercial break, we had Judgment Day in the ring. They were calling out Edge, talked about how they are sick and tired of these so-called legends. Priest said that he had Edge beat on last week's Raw. Edge finally showed up, said that he came back to teach the younger guys how to reach his glory. But Judgment Day, their egos got in the way. They did not pay attention to him, and they would have known if they did that he was not alone. And sure enough, Rey Mysterio and Dominic with the kendo sticks came in from behind, and Dominic was in the ring one-on-one with Rhea Ripley. She convinced Dominic to lower his guard. She grabbed the kendo stick, but then Edge and Rey got back in the ring, and Judgment Day fled the scene. It was announced that this Saturday at the Clash pay-per-view, Edge will team up with Rey Mysterio against the Judgment Day tag team match. That will be on Sunday. Should be a hot one in Cardiff, Wales. Finn Balor will probably be the babyface in that match. Judgment Day will be the good guys. We'll see what happens. Backstage, Miz, who was kidnapped by Dexter Loomis last week, he was back. He did not want to talk about this very traumatic incident. And by the way, responding to Torvik, yeah, there were pictures of Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews, I think a couple of months ago. So they have been together for quite a bit. Did I say Sunday night, Calvin? If I said Sunday, it's force of habit. You guys know this. Saturday night is the Clash. Sunday night is All Out. And I may mix it up more times before it's over. So we'll move on here. And we had Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss up against Enhancement Talent. which I like. As you guys know, I'm all for just doing a regular enhancement match every now and then, build up this trio for the pay-per-view, the premium live event, whatever you want to call it. Good stuff here. Of course, very basic match. Bianca Belair's team wins. No doubt here what was going to happen. They cut a promo after the match, talked about how this Saturday they will be taking control. Of course, Bayley's group doesn't really have an official name yet, but the term damage control was trademarked. We'll see if that ends up being their actual name. And backstage, Adam Pearce was telling The Miz if he needed some counseling over the Dexter Lumis kidnapping, he could arrange that. Miz still did not want to talk about it, and Pearce said that because Miz would not talk to police, they had no choice but to release Dexter Lumis from police custody. We then had Pittsburgh's own. This show was in Pittsburgh. We had Kurt Angle making a special appearance in his old 2003 era ring gear. I wonder if that's a little tease for the future. Kurt Angle recently did an interview and said maybe one day he'll come back for one more match. He is not ruling it out. So Kurt Angle plugged the premium live event, but was quickly interrupted by Master Chad Gable and Otis, Alpha Academy. And basically, Gable said they were looking for a new member. They mentioned this before. And the jacket was offered, an Alpha Academy jacket was offered to Kurt Angle, but Kurt Angle turned it down. And of course, Gable was not happy. He shooshed Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle shoosed him back, and they had a shoos off. Not quite the Ric Flair, Jay Lethal woo off, but it was pretty entertaining. And then just as Otis was going to take out Kurt Angle, Street Profits ran down. They challenged Alpha Academy to a match. Gable said he would do the match on one condition, and that was if Kurt Angle joined Alpha Academy should the Street Profits lose the match. Kurt Angle did, in fact, accept the terms, and then we had our tag team match. Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Hamp Connell sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. Says they did this same segment last week with Trish. I mean, they were similar segments, but we did have a little throwback with Kurt Angle out there in the old school ring gear, and I still liked it. So Dawkins was on fire earlier, did this big dive, but then Otis interfered, and we had, actually it was a tag match, but Otis getting involved when he wasn't the legal man, I should say. And they worked over Montez Ford for a little bit, and Dawkins tagged back in. He kept trying to pin Gable, was unsuccessful. Ford got back in. Gable hit the big top rope headbutt to Ford, but Dawkins broke it up. And then Gable put the straps down like Kurt Angle used to do, put on the ankle lock to Ford, but Ford was able to counter it with one of his own, and Kurt Angle was impressed with Ford's ankle lock, but then Otis made the save, hit a big splash. Otis then got distracted by Kurt Angle. He got bum rushed over the announce table by Dawkins, and then Ford pinned Gable with the frog splash. Afterwards, the Street Profits gave Kurt Angle some solo cups, presumably with alcohol. Kurt Angle, of course, can't be drinking that stuff anymore. He spit it out, and he got some milk. He had bottles of milk there, and there was a big toast with Angle and the Street Profits drinking some milk, some wholesome milk. Good stuff here. I thought this was solid usage of Kurt Angle, and there was more, which we'll get to here in a few moments. So we had cell phone video footage that was captured of Seth freaking Rollins in a brawl outside the arena with Matt Riddle. I guess he's officially Matt Riddle again. They did call him Matt Riddle. And then we had a split screen face-off segment between Riddle and Rollins. And it was pretty basic. Not too much shade being thrown. But then after the commercial break, it was revealed that once they thought the cameras were off and the mics were off, they kept going. And the footage was shown of this continued interaction between these two guys. And basically during the first part of it, Riddle said that there's only one man in Seth Rollins' marriage, and that is Becky Lynch. So after the commercial break, when they thought the mics were off, Seth Rollins, he went into it. He got deep here. He said that that Riddle was divorced and that Riddle's wife left his bitch ass and took the kids. So yeah, he went there. And Riddle, of course, was not happy with this whatsoever. They started censoring Riddle. He said he's going to F up Seth Rollins. And he was very pissed off. And this was great. I mean, this second half of this was really well done. I love seeing this angry side of Riddle that we really did not get to see much of. Doing the comedy stuff. And I like that they, blended the real life with storyline. And this was unique by WWE standards. The whole cell phone footage and then this, it had more of a realistic feel to it. So big thumbs up for all this. I thought this was all very well done. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. He says, say yes to no DQ. Please like, share, hashtag stick to my shtick. And WWE did its own version of the DC John Jones satellite promo. I like Serious Riddle. Well, I have no idea who DC is. John Jones is a UFC fighter, so I'm guessing DC is a UFC fighter too. And remember, guys, I don't watch any UFC, so I barely know who any of these guys are, but I presume that's a UFC guy. So yeah, really enjoyed this segment a lot. And then we had Bobby Lashley versus The Miz. And before the match, Miz was walking backstage and he thought he saw Dexter Lumis. He had to turn around and realize that it wasn't Dexter Lumis, although we saw it was Dexter Lumis for a second. Then there was a different security guy. This kind of felt like when Hulk Hogan saw the Warrior in the mirror, but the idea was that the Warrior wasn't there, but the audience could see the Warrior. That was not good television. This is better. But yeah, I guess the idea is that Miz is seeing Dexter Lumis everywhere. And we are too, but Miz is supposed to be going crazy here. So anyways, we had this match. Miz, of course, very paranoid. Ciampa was yelling at him, trying to get him to settle down and focus. So Ciampa was interfering. Ciampa blocked the ring post so Lashley could not throw Miz in like Lashley does to all of his opponents. And Miz got the upper hand for a bit. Ciampa took a cheap shot at Lashley. Lashley started to make a comeback, but then Ciampa pulled the Miz to the outside, took another cheap shot. Miz hit a DDT. Lashley kicked out, and then Miz was going for the skull-crushing finale. However, he got distracted by Dexter Lumis, who was in the crowd. And Lashley got on the Hurt Lock submission, picked up the win over Miz, who was not having a good night. Just looking over his shoulder constantly and could not really focus on his match. Backstage, we had Edge and Kurt Angle, and I'm really enjoying the Dexter Lumis stuff, by the way. So Edge and Kurt Angle had a little recreation of their old, I think 2002 segment where Edge had all these signs that were insulting Angle, but Angle didn't see the backside, which was shown to the audience. So yeah, they recreated that classic segment, but at first Kurt did not fall for it. However, Edge tricked him. The first picture had no writing on it, but then as Edge was showing him the other pictures, we had all these insults like, sorry, I shaved your head bald. You still suck. And as soon as Kurt Angle realized it, he got angry that he was played again. Angle did great here. And Dominic and Ray were there in the background. And then the segment transitioned to them. And a little tease of what's to come, perhaps, because Dominic seemed upset that he's not in the tag team match, that Ray is teaming up with Edge instead of him. But Ray said that he needs the experience by his side, but he still wants Dominic in their corner. And Dominic did agree to this, but little tease here that Dominic's going to turn. I mean, everybody seems to think that, but then again, people thought the tag team tournament was going to go a certain way. More on that later. One would think that Dominic is going to turn against Ray at some point. We had the Usos coming out to the ring with Sami Zayn. They plugged Roman Reigns' big celebration, which will be on Friday SmackDown. SmackDown was taped, by the way. In Detroit, they taped 2 episodes of SmackDown. The first one was on tape delay, I believe, and then the second one was taped afterwards. Because I got the spoilers like right when I was done with the live stream. So they must have started taping the first SmackDown episode like around 7 Eastern. But yeah, spoilers are over on NoDQ.com if you want to know what happens. And the reason they're doing this is because they're heading into Cardiff and they didn't want to bother doing the live SmackDown. Just logistically didn't really make sense. So anyways, Usos and Sami Zayn did this promo. Zayn said he's going to be the master of ceremonies. And by the way, since people in the chat room are asking, let me get this out real quick. People are asking me about the predictions. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. That will be Clash at the Castle and Worlds Collide predictions, whatever matches we have for Worlds Collide. I think there's only 2 at this point. So we'll do 2, but we're going to mainly focus on Clash at the Castle. And then Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, 1 hour before the taped SmackDown, we are going to do all-out predictions. That way, we'll have Wednesday's Dynamite. We'll have the full card for All Out. That will be Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. 1 hour before the taped SmackDown. No SmackDown recap. I don't do the live streams for the taped shows. That's just my rule. I already know everything that happens on SmackDown, so really I don't need to recap it. But yeah, spoilers are on the site, and we will do the predictions coming up for both shows. Well, 3 shows, actually. Dustin sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Dustin. Says, Miz at-home vignettes, Dexter Lumis, Halloween style. Yeah, they did some good segments with Dexter Lumis on NXT for Halloween Havoc. I hope they do some of that stuff. That would definitely be entertaining. And I think we will see Dexter Lumis wrestle, but I like these skits that they're doing to introduce him to the mainstream audience, whatever casual audience there is. So we had Kevin Owens interrupting the promo with the Usos and Sami Zayn and wanted to once again say that he doesn't that the bloodline doesn't run anything on Monday nights, and Roman Reigns still owes him one. And Jey told Sami Zayn to take care of Owens before he does. And Zayn started sticking up for the bloodline, says Roman Reigns doesn't answer to Kevin Owens or anybody else or anything. And then Owens said it's sad to see his best friend, his brother, Sami Zayn, who at one time was one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time, has now reduced himself to being the bloodline's personal clown. Zayn said that the bloodline actually likes him. Jimmy likes him. Jey Uso, still working on it. Roman Reigns likes him. And Owens then got in the ring and said he hasn't forgotten that Jey and Paul Heyman are the only reasons that he lost to Roman Reigns 18 months ago, which was the Royal Rumble Premium Live event. And he got Jey got in KO's face, and that led to KO versus Jey Uso. You had Jimmy providing a distraction. Jey hit a Samoan drop to Owens on the steel steps. Owens started to make a comeback, hit a swanton, but Jey kicked out. Jey avoided a stunner and a pop-up powerbomb attempt, and he hit the Uso splash, but Owens kicked out. Went for a second one. Owens got his knees up, hit a super kick to Jimmy, and then Owens hit a big frog splash to Jey, but Jey kicked out. And then Owens went for the power bomb on the apron, but Sami Zayn went up to him, and then Jey Uso managed to hit a splash to Owens, and then he went over to Sami Zayn, told Zayn to get a steel chair. Jimmy went over to distract the referee, and Zayn was supposed to hit Owens with a chair, but he hesitated. He did not want to hit his best friend, and Jimmy was yelling at him, "What the hell are you doing?" And all this was going on. Owens took advantage, hit the stunner, and picked up the win over Jey Uso. I really liked how all this played out. Great stuff here. And, people wondering, when is this going to lead to the Sami Zayn face turn? I mean, maybe he's the reason Roman Reigns loses the title to Drew McIntyre. We'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, they could try to drag this out to WrestleMania, or they could pull the trigger on it sooner. But, yeah, I'm hoping we get to this. They're definitely seeming to tease this direction. We had a promo from Damage Control hyping up the main event, the finals of the women's tag team title tournament. And we had The Miz leaving the building, and as he drove away, it was revealed that Dexter Lumis was lurking in the back seat. Very entertaining stuff here. Again, I like how they're introducing Dexter Lumis to the Raw and SmackDown audience, the casuals, as they would say. And then we had Johnny Gargano. Before the show, he was interviewed in the empty arena, talked about how he's excited to get back to doing what he was put on the planet to do. He talked about Theory. He's happy for Theory's success, but he hasn't seen or heard from Theory in a long time. Theory then confronted him and said he just wanted to talk. He wanted to know why Gargano didn't call him, but obviously Gargano's been busy with his baby. And then Theory suggested that maybe Gargano's a little bit jealous. He wished Gargano luck because now Gargano is swimming with the sharks, and Gargano was letting that all settle in. Another good segment here. I liked it a lot. Raw had a lot of strong segments this week. Hamp Connor with a $2 super chat says, kudos to Triple H for bringing back full names. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine if Ciampa doesn't get Tommaso back. Like, Ciampa's fine as a name. Tommaso Ciampa, it's a little bit of a mouthful. So if they keep Ciampa, I think that's no big deal. But Matt Riddle being Riddle was dumb in my opinion. So I'm glad he's back to being Matt Riddle. We had a little video package for the finals of the women's tag team title tournament. Raquel and Aaliyah going up against Dakota Kai and Io Sky. You had Nikki and Doudrop along with Tamina and Dana Brooke watching backstage. Aaliyah was showboating, showing her inexperience, as Corey Graves said, and she ended up getting thrown into the steel steps, and she was out of the match pretty much the entire time due to this. It was 2-on-1 with Raquel outnumbered, and she made a comeback, but then Bayley interfered. Io Sky hit the moonsault, but Raquel kicked out. Bayley was very frustrated. And then we had Bianca, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka run down. They chased Bayley away. And Bayley was out of the equation. And as this was all going on, Aaliyah came back. Aaliyah tagged herself in. Referee saw it, but Io Sky and Dakota Kai were distracted. And then Aaliyah quickly went back down below the apron. And she got back in the ring. And she rolled up Dakota Kai and got the 1-2-3 victory. I think a lot of people were not expecting this to happen. Your new tag team champions, Raquel, Gonzalez, and Aaliyah. Yeah, so they did do a swerve, I guess you could say. I'm not the biggest fan of the roll-up finish, and it kind of felt like Aaliyah and Raquel won by a fluke. But then again, the heels were using the shady tactics and they got outsmarted. So in that sense, I like that we got to see the heels outsmarted. You know, back in the day in the Vince McMahon era, I felt like we kept having that stupid baby face that would always get outsmarted by the heels. But now we're seeing the heels getting outsmarted. So in that sense, I do like it. Keith Johnson with a $2 super chat says, is there any way to make Gargano more credible? Yeah, just showcase what he can do in the ring. Like, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And Bryan Danielson was able to successfully do it, a smaller guy, but you believed he could hold his own with the Canes and the big shows and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I think you show that Gargano is just a master technician. He can take the biggest man down if he has the opportunity. And Walter Cruz says, I say pull the trigger at Survivor Series with KO and Sami Zayn winning the titles. So there's no champ versus champ match. KO and Sami can win there. I'd be all for that, man. Like, the sooner they win, the better. I mean, I've enjoyed the bloodline dominating, but I do think it's time for some change. KO and Sami Zayn winning the tag titles would be a lot of fun. And maybe DIY reforms at some point too. We'll have to wait and see. And after the match, by the way, we had some pyro going off, big celebration. That was nice. And yeah, we'll see what happens from here. No Sasha Banks and no Naomi. We'll see what happens if they come back soon. And Jeff Meacham just wanted to let everybody know the series finale of Talk Wrestling, Tuesday night, 10:05 Eastern, on the No DQ Network, along with the Jeff Meacham Network. Make sure you guys check that out. The final Talk Wrestling for now, but he says it's the last one, so check it out. And thank you all for tuning in tonight. I think Raw was a very good show this week. I mean, it's been really solid. Since Triple H took over. I'll go with a B+. I enjoyed it, and there was very little that I did not really care for. And I thought the build-up for Clash at the Castle was pretty strong. So, yeah, B+. Recommend the show. Main event, of course. And I enjoyed all the Dexter Lumis stuff. I enjoyed the KO stuff with the Usos and Sami Zayn. Kurt Angle's segments, I thought good usage of Kurt Angle, bringing him back for the show. And I hope they do this more often. Like, This is one thing I always thought that WWE should be doing. Bring back the legends just for one-offs. Like, I think it's fun. It makes the shows unique. Like this week was in Pittsburgh. Kurt Angle comes back. And I like that kind of stuff. Like Kurt's not going to be on every week, but bring back a legend every now and then. And you never know, because anybody could show up. And to me, that makes Raw more compelling when you don't really know who's going to show up. You never know. You might miss a legend if you miss Raw. So bring them back. You know, it's fun nostalgia. If they're there for 1 week to enhance the other guys, no harm, no foul. All it can do is help. Hamp Connell sent in a $9.99 super chat. I appreciate that. He says, since tomorrow is predictions, I'll put this out there now. August 30th, 1999, the ladder match with Rock and Triple H. 1 year later, the formation of the Rock and Sock connection. I think you meant 1998 SummerSlam, which was a great ladder match, by the way. I thought that was a match that really put those guys on the map, The Rock and Triple H. So if you haven't seen that one, if you're a younger fan, go check that one out. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like on YouTube and let me know your favorite, since we still are in the summer, your favorite match that took place in the month of August. Doesn't have to be SummerSlam, but leave a comment on YouTube. Let me know your favorite wrestling match that took place in the month of August, and I'll try to respond to some of the comments. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, I very much appreciate it. Take care. Predictions coming up. Make sure you watch Talk Wrestling, the series finale, Tuesday night, 10:05 Eastern Time. And that's all for now. Take care, everybody. And remember to say yes to NoDQ.com. See you all next time.